Let's finish up the question that I posed in the last reading about the critical race theory and the grifting. I just keep hearing that song. It used to be Twisting the Night Away, but I keep hearing Grifting the Night Away in relation to, that's my pathetic attempts at singing there, but this is in relation to Ron Desantis in Florida banning 40 something odd maths textbooks. I mean, formulas and sums for supposed critical race theory connections. And that means that the maths books remaining in Florida are printed and published by one publishing company, which has connections to Virginia's governor, newly elected governor, Glenn Youngkin. So more and more we see pushing cultural wars for profit, for grifting. Okay, so I want to ask two questions. The obvious. Let's see what the cards can show us around this grifting. Grifting the night away. This critical race theory, are they cynically pushing cultural wars for the money? Is Desantis somehow pushing these cultural wars for the money? And are we getting to the truth? Seven of Swords energy yet again. Okay, the Empress card, abundance, the harvest coming in. The Magician, manipulation, manifestation. For goodness sake, people, wake up. It's so obvious. Partisanship. I mean, these cards are made to order. Stoking, fighting, stoking partisanship. Why? Manipulation for. And you know where they learn it? Well, you know, it came to real prominence during the Trump years. Who did Trump, who was he an asset of? Vladimir Putin. There's so many connections at the big picture level here. The Eight of Pentacles. Somebody that has a skill, somebody that is an apprentice. That's in the past. Who's Desantis an apprentice to? Was an apprentice to. Again, Trump, via Vladimir Putin's sowing of these cultural wars way back then, around the 2015, maybe earlier, the Republican Tea Party movement, something changed and they all became an apprentice. Why? Ultimately, it is a huge grift. So we have the Nine of Wands, and this is in the sky, the potential needed for boundaries. Unless America can give their governments large enough margins to really push through reform, legislative reform that will outlaw this. And I mean, that's a huge piece of legislation. It's a huge piece of history. It is a huge battle to get to that point. It's like another piece in the democratic puzzle. Some of the laws in America, believe it or not, are very strong and very good, but not good enough at this point. It shows me that barriers will ultimately, in the long term, be put here to stop this. But first we have to see it. First, we have to have the insight. The immediate future is the Five of Pentacles. This is loss in the immediate future. The next question I want to ask. Desantis got through with a very small margin in the last governor election. It's coming up again in November. So what are we seeing here? But this is also leaving, to me, this is the homeless people as well. Their next cultural war, so stupid, is criminalising being homeless. What's that going to do? It's going to put homeless people in prisons. It's going to tie up the court systems. Again, another cultural war that the politicians are so good at doing in this age of social media. Divide. Let's look down on them. So transparent. It is so transparent what is occurring. 6 of Pentacles, giving and receiving help. Loans and debts. Loans and debts. Giving, putting something in someone's pocket here. Grifting. The Lovers. The environment around. Loans and debts. Grifting. The Lovers is also my other card for Trump. Where'd they learn all this from? This is fallout from the Trump years. You know, democracies are only saved when there are legal consequences for what is occurring. And of course, that means that the Department of Justice at the federal level must bring people to account. Now, on that, absolutely they are bringing the former president and those around him to account. The investigation is there. It's strong, it's deep, and it's wide. We know that. We have confirmation that Merrick Garland is investigating Trump and those around him at the top level. He said that at the highest levels for what they did on January the 6th, which is an attempted coup. Here is our Chariot again in the hopes and fears. We're going so quickly. This is all coming out so quickly. It's occurring quickly. In this age of the Lovers, also Gemini, social media, where you can get to the masses and manipulate. The Tower. The Tower. So something is going to come crashing down. You don't ban books. It's a surprise development here. Something coming out of the blue, which takes us out of troubled waters. He's going to be, Desantis I'm talking about, there's barriers being put up. This is Trump's reading as well. Ultimately, there is an energy of moderation. Why? Because it's needed. Because there's no other way to go but to moderate. The Hermit under review for what? The lie. So it's inevitable that Desantis will be investigated for this link to Youngkin, the connection with the publishing company, the grifting. Let's just say the grifting. And we've got the 10 of Swords, something coming to an end. Okay, so it's hard to swallow. You know, when they burn books, drive teachers out, you know, ban maths books for God's sake. It's hard to swallow, but they will be brought to account for this. And so let's see, Desantis. I always saw the 10 of Swords energy for him. Desantis. Let's have a look at the governor election. I don't think the US has chosen, the Democratic Party has chosen a candidate yet. There are a number of hopefuls, and I do get a draw to, let's see, where did I go with that? Sorry, let's just, I want to be governor elections, Florida. So DeSantis is up for election, and there are 3 other very gubernatorial election will take place on November the 8th, 2022, to elect the government of the governor of Florida. Now, here are the candidates. Charlie Crist, he's a US representative and former Republican governor of Florida. They may go with someone they know. But there's also Nikki Fried, who's the Florida Agricultural Commissioner. I do get a good draw to her. And Annette Taddeo from Miami. She's a state senator. So really strong Democratic candidates. I'm not going to read on which one it'll be. I want to read on Will Desantis win? Will Desantis win? What can you show me? He's coming unstuck in some way with that Tower card. This critical race BS is going to come unstuck. Because it's a grift. Same as the big lie is a grift. It's a grift, it's a grift, it's a grift. Those cards were really clear. And it's not going to end well for them. For the grifters. Okay, so let's see. Will Desantis win the governor election on November the 8th, 2022? Will Desantis? Ron DeSantis is playing all the cultural race wars, cultural wars, using the state's power to go after companies like Disney. I mean, what are Floridians thinking? Are they going to re-elect this man? Will Florida re-elect DeSantis? If they don't, it will be the end of his chances. We have the Empress, so we do have a yes card, but it's only a signifier card at this stage. Something coming to fruition in time. Something coming to fruition in time. Page of Wands in the foundation. Some kind of news coming forward. The foundation of the reading. Are moving forward in some way. Could be a draw to young people. Will have their say. Queen of Swords in the past. You may get investigations that have a bearing on this. Whether they are directly Ron DeSantis or someone else in that circle. Or more likely this is going to be Trump. Perhaps an indictment being announced before the midterms. Page of Pentacles, finance news coming up in relation. These are pages, a lot of pages here. A lot of players involved here. We've got retreat, wounded in battle in the immediate future. Something's coming out for DeSantis before we get to the governor election. That is going to cause him, he's going to take a blow over something. Now we have here the regret loss card, the Five of Cups. The environment around his family. So, you know, people are saying the way that he's treating Disney, if he uses the state and overreach the state powers, Disney apparently funds a lot of infrastructure in Florida. There's some kind of regret and loss here for the average person in Florida, for families. Now we have the hopes and fears that we move out of this painful chapter, and we have miracles, wish fulfillment, but I don't necessarily see that as a straight yes. Let's see what's clarifying it. The Queen of Cups, something coming out, something emerging, and the Knight of Pentacles around the money. He's going to be embroiled in both a financial scandal, but there's also something around women that is coming out as well. What's on the bottom? We've got loss, walking away, and the Wheel of Fortune. Something changing. So let's pull a clarifier on this wish fulfillment. Is this yes, he will win? Yes, he will win, or is it multi-layered that something emerges to explain that Tower card, which gives us our wish that we see the back end of DeSantis? Show me this Nine of Cups. Show me this Nine of Cups. Is this a win for DeSantis? I'm very careful. So we have a lot of headlines, a lot of things emerging. What? The Ace of Swords is the truth. And we've got struggling to hold on a lot. He's under the weight of that Eight of Swords. And that's a lot of headlines, a lot of dirt coming out, a lot of truth emerging. And we've got the Knight of Wands. Our trusty Knight of Wands could be Knight of Wands, an investigation being launched in some way which encompasses him. Page of Swords, yeah. Okay, so we are reminded to be hopeful. We got the January 6th committee to had those live hearings. Wow, this is big news. But it's also the grifting here and the magician, the manipulation. So I'm going to say I'm not going to call those cards. Possibly, yes. You know, the Nine of Cups straight out, clarified by the Queen of Cups, can be a yes. It's not a big win, but there's something else here as leftover, the residual energy from my last reading. And I'm going to say, because that's my job, isn't it, to interrogate and go a little bit deeper. I'm going to say there's a huge scandal waiting for Ron Desantis before the governor elections in November. So, the need for barriers, this huge, how can I call it? What can I call it? It's a huge chunk of America's legal system is being, going forward, is being forged right now based on this huge grift that is occurring. So, all right, one last question. It's terrible, isn't it? I came up here to do taroscopes and I've done 2 really heavy readings. Will Joe Biden in the midterms? Will the Democrats in the midterm? No, I'm not on the side of the grifters, anyone who's visiting. No way. It's not even I'm on the side of the Democrats. I'm more on the side of legality, democracy, anti-grifting, facts, opposing gullibility. That's what I'm on the side of. Okay. Will the Democrats be given enough help to win? Will Biden be given enough help in the midterms to take Congress, to take an advantage in Congress? Will the midterms go in Joe Biden's favour? Will the midterms go in Joe Biden's favour? Somebody's building a canoe here to take them out of troubled waters. Will the midterms deliver? Senate, I'm hearing Senate. Him an advantage. Will the midterms deliver Joe Biden an advantage? The headlines certainly will. What's emerging before the midterms around January the 6th certainly will. And we have the voters, the families. They don't want instability. None of us wants instability. The Democratic vote is stronger than what you think. Strength. Thank you. King of Wands in the past. This is, I think, to me, this is around courage, boldness, bravery, leadership. It is a Sagittarian card. It's in the past, but it's more how they're going to perceive leadership. This is the courts as well. The actual legislators, members of Congress, and the courts somehow are stronger than what we think. The Tower is here again. It's in the sky. So I can't say, I can't say there's not a potential for loss. But the Tower is something major occurring. It's always been my signifier card for the January 6th committee's work. The storming of the Capitol is hanging over this entire reading. So we have in the immediate future the Five of Pentacles. This is high inflationary pressures. I've always said I see clearly perhaps the Senate increasing majority there. I'm not so sure about the House, but Queen of Swords in the here and now, yeah. So this is the investigations having a huge impact on the midterms. And here's our Chariot. Things out of control on this wild ride. My new signifier card is the Chariot. We've got hopes and fears, the Fool, new starts. Will they go toward him? The outcome card is something coming to fruition in time. And this is what is occurring now in the January 6th committee investigation. It's clarified by the Ace of Cups. People are really emotional about what they're going to be hearing. And the Knight of Pentacles, further clarification, a sustained movement toward what? Towards something coming to fruition in time. We have the investigation. So this investigation of January the 6th is going to, when the truth emerges, is going to provoke a lot of anxiety. Do they hand over Congress to the Republicans? No, I don't think they do. There will be checks and balances in the midterms as a result of what has occurred and what the Republicans have been doing. So again, a pretty heavy kind of energies here, but ultimately, you know, where there is trouble, strife, chaos, I do see hope for smoother waters. We're building the boat, that Six of Swords, we're building the boat right now, and I said these things to you in America at the 2020 election. I said the same things, and President Biden was elected. So Republicans better not get too cocky too quickly. There's stormy waters for them up ahead. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.